Today, we're talking about a huge shift in the global power structure, the expansion of BRICS into what we now call BRICS Plus. And look, this is way more than just adding a few new members to an economic club. It really forces us to ask a big question. Is this all about building a more cooperative world, or is it a calculated play for global influence? Let's dive in. This quote right here from the BRICS Youth Energy Outlook, it kind of gives us a peek into the story the bloc tells about itself. For them, this isn't just about money or trade. It's about a shared mission to tackle enormous global challenges, starting with the energy transition. You could say this is their official statement of purpose. And this is what that ambition looks like. A future that's powered by new technology, by sustainability. So before we get into how the rest of the world sees this group, let's first explore the vision they have for themselves. So what is this big shared vision? Well, it's really built on a few key ideas, all designed to tackle some of the biggest problems facing not just their own countries, but the entire planet. Okay, so the first big piece is what they call a just and sustainable energy transition. And the keyword there is just. For the BRICS Plus nations, moving away from fossil fuels can't mean sacrificing their own development. The goal is to figure out a transition that doesn't just protect the environment, but actually helps their economies grow and promotes social equality for everyone. And that connects directly to the whole energy thing. You know, green tech like solar panels and EVs, they all rely on what we call critical minerals. The BRICS Plus bloc is working on policies to manage these resources responsibly, trying to find that sweet spot between economic benefits and protecting local communities and the environment. And the group's influence goes way beyond just energy and minerals. I mean, check out this number. It's pretty staggering. BRICS Plus nations together account for over 1/3 of all the agricultural output in the world. That makes their cooperation absolutely essential for global food security. They're also teaming up in some pretty high-tech areas like advanced nuclear energy. They see it as a really important tool for making sure they have stable energy and for powering their development with a reliable, low-carbon source. Okay, so that's the plan from the inside, a cooperative, forward-thinking partnership. But, that's only half the story. To really get the full picture, we have to flip the script and ask, how does the rest of the world, especially the established economic powers, see this rising group? To really understand that external view, let's look at it from the perspective of the European Union. Some analysis from the European Parliament gives us a really data-driven look at the relationship, both economically and geopolitically, with the BRICS Plus nations. So, if you look at the trade data from 2022, a really fascinating picture emerges. The original 5 members, that's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, they make up a huge 25% of the EU's total trade. But the new members? They're a much smaller slice, only about 3%. So the big takeaway is that while the whole group is a major trading partner, its economic power isn't spread out evenly at all. And when we look at who's driving the growth in trade, it becomes even clearer. China is by far the main engine of the bloc's economic relationship with the EU. Just between 2012 and 2022, the EU's trade with China shot up by 55%, which just goes to show its role as the economic giant of the group. And these numbers, they aren't just abstract figures on a spreadsheet. They are shaped in rooms just like this one. Institutions like the New Development Bank are where all the strategic economic and financial plans for the bloc get hammered out, turning those data points into real-world projects and policies. All of this economic weight, well, it naturally leads to a bigger strategic role on the world stage. The story isn't just about how much stuff is being traded. It's about competing ideas for how the entire world should be connected. And right here, you see 2 of those competing visions for global infrastructure. On one side, you have China's massive Belt and Road Initiative, which includes most of the BRICS Plus countries. And on the other, you have the EU's Global Gateway, which was launched as a direct alternative, and it's also targeting key BRICS Plus countries. So this puts the bloc right in the middle of a huge geopolitical competition for influence. All right, so we've seen 2 very different sides of the BRICS Plus story. We have the internal vision of a partnership, and then we have the external reality of economic and geopolitical competition. To really understand what this group is all about, we have to bring those 2 identities together. So what is BRICS Plus? The truth is, it's not just one thing. It's a platform where countries can work together on shared problems. It's an economic giant, for sure, and one that's heavily influenced by China's power.
It's a new geopolitical player with global ambitions. And maybe most importantly, it's a diverse group brought together by things they have in common, not because they all think the same way.
Ultimately, what's undeniable is the impact this is having. Whether you see it as a partnership or a power play, BRICS Plus is actively reshaping the global economic and political landscape. The rise of this bloc is truly one of the most significant geopolitical stories of our time. So, we end up back where we started. Is this a partnership for solving shared problems or a power play to reshape the world? The reality is, it's not one or the other. It's both. And it's this complicated mix of cooperation and competition that is going to define our global landscape for years.